I don't even care anymore. Straight to jail. If you eat cinnamon rolls like this, jail now. Raccoons can eat it like that. Rats can eat it like that. All right, let's go. Let's watch. So, dude, why is this on my, recommended on YouTube? Pete returns to Fox News on the official Pete Buttigieg YouTube page. Stay in touch with Pete. I don't think I will. What I would tell Trump. This is like the best moment to ask who. Who f***ing asked? Who f***ing asked? No one cares. Yeah, well, I'd really tell him. I'd really tell him off.
Great to have you here in New York.
Thanks for having me. Good to be here.
Some are saying that she appears to be a sympathizer with some of those radical policy calls, eliminating the Senate, defunding the Department of War.
Eliminating the Senate. Talking about it like AOC called for every single senator to be murdered, to be executed.
Ending all deportations. How do you see it? Yeah, look, I think that there are so many issues where about 2/3 of Americans are in agreement with each other and in disagreement with the president. And my focus is on those things, right? 2/3 of Americans disagree with the Trump tax cuts for the wealthiest Americans. 2/3 of this country believe that wages ought to be higher. Even most Republicans think we ought to raise the minimum wage more than we have. Most Americans believe that we ought to have health care for everybody. There's a version of it I've proposed. There's obviously lots of different versions of how to do that. But that's something most people agree with each other on. Most people are against President Trump's health care cuts, many of which will go into effect next year, I think kind of cleverly timed to come just after the election. So that to me is where the center of gravity of the country meets the center of gravity in my party. And that's what my focus is on when I'm traveling around the country. I go to a lot of places, including more conservative places. We were in Nebraska recently. I was in Arkansas campaigning. And those are the things people most want to know about. How is my life going to be different depending who's in charge?
So you just pitched to them healthcare because that does top the list for a lot of people.
I like how we've moved past actually trying to have good policy. Now you just say healthcare. You want it. Healthcare. And then you just move on. It's like, what?
People, they're concerned about the affordability issue when it comes to healthcare. Right. I'm surprised even to see that topping gas, food prices, housing prices even. It sounds like you're pitching Medicare for all. So what do you see?
Well, you remember we had a whole debate over this back when I was running for president. I favored something we called Medicare for all who want it. The idea is that there is that publicly available plan, but we're not going to force anybody onto it. I still think that's the right answer. And it's interesting, some of the critics of that plan before have come to embrace it now. I think it would be a good policy. But yeah, the cost of healthcare, the cost of gas, obviously through the roof as a direct result of President Trump breaking his promise not to start a war and what's going on in the Iran war. These are the things I'm being asked about when I'm on the road.
So when it...
Who just show me one person. I would put my life savings of 1 penny and a piece of lint on the fact that you have not ever been asked by anyone anything ever. I would argue you go places and everyone just says, why is he eating that food like a little rat? Why? Is that a cinnamon roll? What the?
It comes to the Iran war. We've had many, military experts on the program just the last 90 minutes telling us that it's time to go big. At this point in the war, I know you've been very critical of how long we have been in it, and you feel that President Trump has broken his promise to the American people.
Well, not I feel. He made a specific promise and then he did something else.
So at this point, based on...
Do you know how bad it pisses me off that this is not a chicken wing? That this is a f***ing cinnamon roll? Who the f*** eats a cinnamon roll like this? I don't even care anymore. Straight to jail. If you eat cinnamon rolls like this, jail now. Raccoons can eat it like that. Rats can eat it like that. If you are meant to be a human being and you eat a cinnamon roll like that, delete you from the sun or to the sun. And then there's this. I don't even know what the f*** he's eating in this one. I don't even know what the f*** he's eating. Dude, why are there so many photos of him eating food like this? What the f***? Dude.
where we are, what would you like to see happen next if you were advising President Trump?
Well, if I was advising President Trump, I'm trying to try that scenario on for size. I guess I'd advise him to start by telling the truth to the American people. Because when he says it's going to be 4 weeks and then breaks that promise, it reminds people of when he said he wouldn't start this war and broke that promise. When he says he will settle for nothing less than unconditional surrender and regime change, and then changed his mind, backpedaled, and agreed to a framework for a ceasefire that was very different, then that ceasefire has been broken. The outrageous news that we just got, that the Trump administration removed the names of 4 of our service members who were killed in action, apparently because the fact that they had been killed in action goes against his fiction that sometimes he says we're actually not in a war, even though everybody knows we are. What I would say to him is, when I was in uniform, when I was deployed, I knew that on some level, my life depended on the credibility of the people running our government. And American lives depend on him telling the truth, even when it's hard.
Do you agree with removing Iran's nuclear capabilities?
Yeah, Iran should never have a nuclear weapon. And
it's shocking that this guy did not win the Democratic primary for presidency. It's really shocking. I'm personally shocked.
Each of the every administration in my lifetime has found a way of achieving that. It's just the other administrations managed to achieve it without getting the United States into a war and without getting American troops killed.
Removing Iran's nuclear capabilities?
Iran should never have a nuclear program.
Okay, so this is Montana Senator Tim Sheehy. He was on Fox and Friends. This is back on June 22nd, and he said this, listen.
What's worse than a forever war in the Middle East is a forever war right here on our streets. Just down the road, 9/11, the Iranians want to bring that war here. They want to create a global caliphate of Sharia law and kill all of us. And that's not a theory. That's what they actually tried to do every day. So I think we have to remember that and,
remember your hallucinations? Why the would we do that?
Having our troops fight them there is far better than us fighting them here.
Get a thought there.
That is almost word for word what they told us when we were sold the war in Iraq. Remember in 2003, they said if we don't go in...
You don't get to... Sorry, let me calm down. Let me take it down a couple notches. I'm here. Let me take it down a couple notches. All right. Personally, I think you don't get to be like, that's how they sold us the last war. I won't fall for this again. But yeah, we do need to make sure they don't get nukes. Carry the 1. Divide by 2. Okay. Okay. All right. So what the f are you on about then? What the fuck? Oh, God, dude. You're letting your cinnamon bun eating habits cloud your judgment.
Invade Iraq, take down Saddam Hussein. If we're not fighting him there, we're going to wind up fighting him here. And that war in Iraq made America weaker. This war on Iran is making America weaker. Folks at home, look, 6 months ago, at least where I live in Michigan, you didn't have to get up in the morning and worry about the Strait of Hormuz. You didn't have to know where it was. It wasn't affecting your life. Now, folks from my neighbors in Michigan to people coast to coast in this country are paying more for gas, more for diesel, mortgage rates are going up, and of course our tax dollars are going into a war where it's pretty clear even the best case scenario is going to have us worse off than where we were. Because a year ago, the Strait of Hormuz...
It really is like everything wrong with like the modern establishment Democrat. You agree with every nonsensical premise and then disagree with the solutions that Republicans create or suggest. It's like, what the f are you... What?
...was open. Now we're fighting to try to figure out somehow how to get it open again. So back to that scenario you invited me to think about before, where I'm somehow advising President Trump. I guess the other thing I would say is, like, listen to the intelligence a little more. Listen to the same generals and the intelligence that told you, hey, if you do this, they might close the Strait of Hormuz. And he said, oh, that'll never happen. And
they agree. They just don't admit it. No, I'm talking about like publicly. Like everyone already knows that they agree privately. Duh. That's why everything goes through. But I'm talking about like publicly. They'll be like, I agree. Immigrants are the problem. However, what if we what if we sent them to the immigrant squishing machine, but like at half the rate? It's like, what? What the are you talking about?
And he did, and then that's what happened. Maybe he should pay more attention to that, and most of all, pay more attention to the American people who do not want an escalation of the Iran war.
Okay. I want to ask you about big change because I hear you talking about big change. And in our recent Fox News polling, a majority of Democrats want some sort of dramatic or revolutionary change in our nation's government. I mean, you see a lot of it in the DSA playbook. But what would you be looking to do? Are you someone that could lead the country through this sort of revolutionary, dramatic change that many voters say they're seeking?
I think we do need dramatic change. And I think not just most Democrats, but most Americans want that. So look, I'm more moderate on a lot of issues, but I also think we need radical change when it comes to our institutions.
Like what?
And, well, for example, right now we just allow gerrymandering. We allow so much manipulation of congressional districts that 9 out of 10 House races are decided before the first vote is even cast. And that's in a 50-50 country. That needs to change. Money in politics needs to change. The flood of corporate PAC money going into our politics. And I sincerely believe that being against that kind of role of money in politics doesn't have to be a left or right position. I was in Montana. There's a bipartisan initiative there. It's going to voters on the ballot. It's called the Montana Plan that would do something about money in politics. I personally believe that we ought to have a constitutional amendment about this to clear up that corporations are not the same thing as people, and that money, flooding money into campaigns out of corporate treasuries is not the same thing as a person using their right to speech. So, look, that's ambitious. That's definitely a big change, especially talking about a constitutional amendment. But we've changed we've amended our Constitution more than 25 times.
And you're willing to do so. I want to ask you about the Supreme Court. Rewind the tape. This is June 11th. You suggested this. Watch.
We have.
I was muted, guys. I said because I'm watching Pete Buttigieg. That's enough to make anyone sad. And if you don't understand that, take 10 minutes.
Have to deal with a Supreme Court that is now a rogue Supreme Court. Nowhere in the Constitution does it say that there have to be 9 Supreme Court justices. That one doesn't even take a constitutional amendment.
So where are you going with this?
Yeah, what I'm saying is that
What I'm saying is I'm not going to do anything ever that would actually change anything. But I'm pretending like I'm going to, and I'm going to give the Republicans ideas. Republicans, we're having the military throw protesters in unmarked vans. Democrats, mark the vans. You guys don't see like a bigger problem here? No? All right. Got it. Cool.
the laws of this country, under the Constitution of this country, we could have a Supreme Court that better reflects the expectations of the American people and that is more legitimate. The legitimacy of the Supreme Court is, I believe, the lowest it's ever been in the eyes of the American people. It's come to feel like a nakedly partisan institution. We could do some things about that. At a minimum, term limits so that you know for each presidential term how many Supreme Court appointments are going to go with it. But I also think we would be better off with a court that has something like 13 justices that would match the number of districts that we have in the federal system. And ideally, appoint them in a way that isn't so partisan. There are a lot of interesting different ideas and proposals for how to do it. One of them is called a balanced bench. So what you do is you have some appointed by Democrats, some appointed by Republicans, and some who can only be seated if there's a consensus among the rest. I'm not wedded to one single vision of reform. I think there are lots of different ways to do it. But my bigger point is this. If something can't go on forever, it won't. And the collapse in trust in the Supreme Court, the bizarre way we win our congressional elections with maps drawn into these weird shapes in order to make one party or another party win, the level of money that is just flooding our political system, it can't go on like that. And when something unsustainable goes and goes and goes, you're either going to have reform or you're going to have a catastrophe. I want it to be reform, and I don't think that has to be a partisan issue.
Got it. Fox News polling also asks about immigration and deportation. Our new polling shows that just 7% of Americans think that illegal migrants should be allowed to remain in the United States. Yet, I just read the DSA playbook, Democrats, Socialists of America, and they want to let everybody in. Where do you...
Yes, let everyone in. Yes. it's so stupid to try and appeal to Fox News voters because, bro, like Fox News voters are never gonna vote for you, man. It's kind of giving like Lauren Southern putting out that piece, being like, guys, I don't know if you know this. The alt-right men are sexist to women. Did you guys know that? They don't like women. It's like, yeah, you stupid slut. Of course they don't like women. Hello? What are you... What the... How could you say something so stupid? I don't understand. You're never going to appeal to them. Hello?
Stand on immigration and should deportations continue to happen, or those just that have committed crimes? Where specifically are you standing on this issue?
Yeah, I disagree with the idea that you would just let everybody in. And I think most of us in this country do agree that if somebody's committed a crime, they have to be deported, they have to be held accountable, they have to face justice. Also, there have to be ways for people to have some way to get in line and earn citizenship, especially people who were brought here
There's
as
a lot
children.
of folks in your party who disagree with that.
There are some, yeah. I don't agree with everybody in my party on everything, but I think most Democrats, and actually, interestingly, most Americans agree on the broad picture of what to do. The weird thing is, how come
They really need to stop courting the 4 surviving Romney Republicans and trying to motivate people that refuse to vote because they don't see anyone trying to help them. It's just so bizarre. Like, I just don't understand what the is the point. Like, just think about it like with any semblance of common sense. If you're a Republican that wants to vote for Trump because you think immigrants are destroying this country, Pete Buttigieg getting on Fox News and saying, I agree, we should do something about the immigrants. I just don't think we should be super extreme about it. Why would that motivate you to vote for that guy? He just conceded the point, which he shouldn't have conceded, and said he's not going to do anything about it. Why the would you vote? Why would you vote for that guy? It makes no sense at all.
that reform hasn't happened? See, I think a lot of voters who voted for Donald Trump believed him when he said that he was going to focus on those who committed crimes. Just like voters believed him when he said he was going to keep us out of wars like the war in Iran. And a lot of voters believed him when he said he was going to bring prices down on day one. Mm-hmm. Instead, if you look at the inflation rate on day one, when Donald Trump took over from Joe Biden, and you look at the inflation rate today, it's higher today. So you have this set of broken promises that I think is an opening for us as a country to have a different
you
conversation.
open the door to affordability in the economy. Yeah. So what are you offering? What are you offering? What is the solution to what so many of you Democrats are saying are failed economic policies in this country? Mm-hmm. Right now, I look at average hourly earnings, they're up. Mm-hmm. Wages are up. The American stock market has been rocking. It's at all-time highs. Growth has been up. Mm-hmm. What are you pitching? What do you think is the solution to, the polling that does show that there is a frustration with the American people, specifically when it comes to affordability?
Yeah, I think Americans are frustrated because we see some of those top-line numbers you're talking about. Economic growth overall up, stock market way up, but wages haven't moved nearly as much as profits have. It tells you that something is off. So some basic things we can do. First of all, raise wages. Again, most Republicans agree with me and disagree with Washington Republicans on having a minimum wage increase. It hasn't increased in years. At least over 12 is what most Republicans can agree on. I think it needs to go north of that.
Small business owners are going to say you're going to...
$12 is what this said. That's really going to make a dent, dude. I like how he gave the most meager number I've ever seen. Like literally the most pathetic, meager number I've ever seen. And this host literally says, oh, and what about the small business owners? Sorry, I'm putting on some socks. One second. I can't believe there's actually someone in chat. Yeah, most meager number, and she immediately crashes out. I can't believe there's someone in chat that actually is falling for this propaganda. Do you think bum Alabama can afford $20 an hour? Well, that demographic that Dems lose constantly. Did you know that you never ever have to prove cause and effect? You never have to prove causality. You can just point at correlation and pretend like it proves every single point you want it to forever. Democrats lose these areas. Therefore, I'm going to say that it's because of the reason I want it to be. Did you guys know that eating ice cream causes shark attacks? Did you guys know that? Yeah. No, for sure. See, like, here is the irrefutable evidence. Shark attack go up. Ice cream sales go up. It must be that the ice cream is attracting the sharks to your location. Yeah. If you think about it that way. What if the sharks are the ones causing the ice cream? Oh, shit. So right, man. To try and explain why Democrats lose any given individual district or state and pretend like and pin it on just one thing is just so unbelievably idiotic. Not to mention, I would argue, so federally mandating their minimum wage with their economy will have the same effect as $20 an hour in California. Okay. If you can't, I'm literally not pinning it on one thing. You literally, okay. Whatever you say, Chatter. If you can't afford to pay your workers to live in the city that they work in, you don't know how to run a profitable business and you should not be in business. Do you understand? It's just like, I don't understand how that easy to say. Why'd he turn into like a caveman on that one? I'm sorry, is someone forcing you to be a small business owner? It's just like so bizarro to me. I don't understand. Like, it's just, if you can't pay the expenses required to run the business you want to run, then you shouldn't run that business because you don't have the financial intelligence to run that business. Should I give you a loan that you can't pay back? Since we're just doing things that make no financial sense. Oh, here's this mortgage for this house that you can't afford. That easy to say, huh? Get better at capitalism if you want to be a capitalist. It's just so bizarre. I don't understand like the simping for a company that sucks at doing business. It just feels like there's a big misunderstanding of local econs. If the government won't help step in with the minimum wage buff, like servers who don't make minimum wage, I don't know what you think the end result will be, minus more box stores. Then why is it that in New York City, one of the cities that has highest minimum wages in the country, they have no big box stores? If you think the solution to people being poor is ignore it and do something else because you can't raise the minimum wage because it would be mean to the business owners, that's not a good strategy. That's not a good, huh? New York City isn't poor AF. Dude, 2 million New Yorkers live in rent-subsidized housing. The city might have money, but it doesn't mean that the people who live there are all drowning in money. Hello? So New York City is poor because, okay, can you try and think of things in like a slightly broader sense? Instead of everything being like this singular statement that has to be all-encompassing. Sorry, guys, the 10-minute timeout rule is about other leftists. It's not about rightoids. I will never stop having fun making fun of rightoids. That's about leftists that say things. And they're like, actually, Jon Stewart is a liberal and we need to kill him now in Minecraft. Like, it's about those people. Like, I just genuine curiosity. Since everyone else here is lacking nuance and lacking the understanding of big econ, of local econ, what exactly is your strategy, your great economic strategy for improving the living conditions of people who live in poor states and poor cities? Data centers. More AI data centers, obviously. That's funny. There's a term in German that I don't know how it goes in English, but basically if the premise of my argument is false, then anything can follow from it. Example, 1 + 1 = 1. Therefore, I am the Pope. That's just how conservatives, not just in the United States, argue. Hard to combat, but establishment Dems show precisely how not to combat it. Yeah, correct. Like, no, we have to care about these small business owners. Wait, what? I reject your initial premise. Wait, what the we have to bend over backwards to make sure that shitty small business owners and petty tyrants get to make their share, abusing the local workforce? I don't agree with that. So we can't raise the minimum wage. I don't agree with that. Wait, what the No. My mother was a small pope, excuse you. You'd raise wages to a point the state's economics could actually handle. If there's need to be government support, that's fine, ? Nope, not even a little close. It's just that throwing up wages at $20 an hour when it's been $7 for decades needs government support. You're going to end up with a lot of sad ass end cons. You know, minimum wages everywhere have a period of time that they are raised. Like, it's not overnight. In fact, I don't think in the past decade of looking at minimum wage raises, you'd find a state that has raised their minimum wage $13 overnight. They do it year over year with like an increase of $1. So I don't even know what you're talking. Like, you just hallucinated something that wouldn't happen. Huh? I mean, if that a lot of places still have what? Okay, bro, I just need you to be literate. Okay, I need to be able to understand what you're writing. Because if that a lot of places still have federal min, I don't even know what that means. I wish you the best of luck. All right. Do you guys remember when people said, we can't raise the minimum wage of McDonald's workers because then hamburgers will be $10 billion? And McDonald's opened 1 million locations up in Europe, and they had minimum wage at $23, and then Big Macs, in fact, did not go up $1 billion. It's almost like it's always been fear-mongering. Remember when people would come in to say, how's the lawsuit going? I'm sad if you think that's my takeaway. I was hugely in support of California doing the fast, good wage raises. Now you're just buying into propaganda for literally no reason. This is minimum wage raises are always done in phases. They're not going overnight in any individual city. If you go and look at the amount of, someone have like that chart that shows what is the minimum amount, what is the minimum wage required to be able to rent a 1-bedroom apartment in every state? And $725 is not enough in any state.
Kill me.
They've always said that, but right now the minimum wage is lower when you account for inflation by something like 30% than it was the last time we raised it. We should just index it to inflation so we don't have these fights every few years. We should do healthcare that's available to everybody, like that proposal I was telling you about earlier. Another thing we can do is just stop making it worse. We woke up to news today that Donald Trump is imposing a new 10% tax effective at midnight last night that we got to pay on all kinds of goods. Why would you put an extra tax, an extra tariff on things when affordability is so hard?
But I'm asking you, how do you make life more affordable for the average American?
Well, I just told you, we cut the cost of healthcare, right? And also, if Republicans hadn't gotten rid of that help on healthcare premiums, right, premiums would be lower. So we should make healthcare premiums lower instead of higher the way congressional Republicans raised them. We should make sure wages are higher instead of keeping them stuck where they are. We should be supporting childcare. By the way, I'm very interested in maybe a bipartisan consensus where we work on childcare that's not just about supporting childcare in an institutional setting where you like drop somebody off at a center. That's great for some families. A lot of families are doing family childcare. Sometimes they're like me in a sandwich generation where you're looking over after both a parent and children at the same time. We should be supporting family caregivers as well. We could use tax credits to do that. Another thing that would make America more affordable, do more with the child tax credit, which successfully cut the rate of child poverty in half. And then congressional Republicans refused to extend it. All of these are specific, concrete things that will work, that most Americans agree on, but you can't get through Washington. Why? Because the political system is broken, which is why I keep talking about those reforms on how we elect House members, money in politics, how we elect the president is another one I care about. All these things that I think would make a difference.
Real quick before you go, I mean, has this socialist wave, I mean, you're sitting in New York City, we've got a socialist mayor in New York City, Zohran Mamdani. Is it gone too far, do you believe?
Has it gone too far? He removed the it was $1 billion deficit. Has he gone too far?
Look, there's always going to be some people in my party who go too far for...
Like, literally. Stop. Wait, sorry. Let me control myself. I'm sure he's going to say Zohran did not go too far. Stop. There's no way he's saying there's always going to be people that go too far.
For me, people I disagree with. If you pick the 5 or 10 or 15 furthest left people in our party, they're going to, by definition, disagree with a lot of others. But there's so much that we do, in fact, agree on. And I think one of the reasons why you see people who run on a promise of shaking it up, whether it's a DSA candidate on the left or whether it's someone like Donald Trump, is because people can tell that the system we have is not just showing its age, it's letting us down. That system can change. There's a way to do that that is not destructive.
What kind of Democrat are you? I mean,
literally go yourself, dude. This is why you will never have any motion, Pete Buttigieg. This is the most easy slam dunk on the planet. Zoran is literally the fucking kingmaker, and you see him, and you're like, of course I think some people go too far. Of course I think that. What is it? What has he gone too far on? Tell me what. Oh no, he wants fast and free buses. Oh no, he got rid of the $12 billion deficit. Oh no, he wants childcare. Oh no, grocery stores. But worst of all, that smile. What the, like, oh no, he wants to tax people that own more than one home and have $1 million second penthouses in New York. Won't he please think of the people who can afford not one, but 2 homes for millions of dollars? Won't he please think of that? It's just not fair to tax them. Are you kidding me?
We've got blue MAGA. We've got socialists. What are you?
There's label after. I don't know. I'm a Pete Buttigieg Democrat. I think I'm a common sense Democrat.
I'm a Pete Buttigieg Democrat. That's got like the same aura as saying like, I'm a Tectone streamer. So motionless, loser, nobody likes you, and you're cringy, and you fell off. Got it. Okay.
But of course, everybody thinks that their ideas are common sense to them.
And you're running for president?
I'm not running for anything. I'm helping.
Bitch, you ain't running for anything because you ain't winning anything.
People who are, because this is a very important election where people are seeing that their everyday lives, from the price of gas to healthcare, is on the line. And I think a lot of people who generally prefer a Republican president still want to see some kind of balance, some kind of check, some kind of restraint, and are considering, maybe for the first time in a long time, voting for a Democrat for Congress.
Really interesting stuff. Appreciate you coming by today. Thank you so much, Mr. Secretary.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Come.
God, dude. Loser ass scumbag. Great job, bro. Yes, sell out the American people so you can make your bag. Congratulations. God. This guy's still going. Y'all would not survive the early 2000s of typos. You understand that there's a difference between a typo and writing a sentence that doesn't make any sense? I mean, if that a lot of places still have federal minimum. I'm not even trying to be annoying. I just don't even know what the f that means. It's not a typo. That's like you're missing whole words, bro. Because Dems have been hardcore losing middle America as long as I've been able to vote for, which is a while now. Federal minimum wage should go up and slowly, but it's a silly idea to assume it won't hurt smaller economies. Unless there's federal assistance with it, which should absolutely be the case if federal minimum wage is what's being raised. Just like servers who make under the federal minimum wage and difference is paid, though not as much as it should be. Yeah, but you're conceding ground to Republicans for literally no reason at all. Doing this like, no, what are we going to do about the small economies? Is so ridiculous. It's just like nonsensical. Republicans can get in office and do whatever the f they want and make people's lives worse. And they win elections. Why? Because they actually have any fucking aura at all. So you're just mistaken. You're mistaken about the reason why Democrats are losing. Democrats lose because they run on these pathetic, like, middle ground positions where they say, we're going to do stuff, and then they don't do anything. The Trump administration has now cut $600 million in funding for critical HIV and STD programs. Experts say sexually transmitted diseases will now become far more common in the United States as a result. Also, without even checking, I know the comments are just filled with, that can't affect me because I'm straight. I just know. Bro, why is Trump able to snap his fingers and make everything immediately worse while Democrats need unanimous permission from the whole world to wipe their own asses? This is what I'm talking about. Like, the idea that Democrats need to be careful to not do too much, it's just a fucking joke. Mamdani has come in like a fucking wrecking ball and done whatever the fuck he's wanted, whenever the fuck he's wanted. He's eliminated the deficit and made everyone's lives better off in New York. And guess what? People love him. And everybody wants him as a mayor. This like, we need to be nice to the small economies and we don't want to raise the minimum wage too fast. So it's not too scary. It's just it's just like nonsensical. It's like to make that argument is nonsensical. Instead of phrasing it as like anything other than, yeah, this needs to happen. And housing prices need to go down. And we need better taxation policies for the ultra wealthy. And like capitulating before you've even started to fight is just so pathetic. It's just so pathetic.
Political grifting streams are played out. Go sit in a hot tub. Bleh.
You enjoying summer break? Don't forget, you still have to do your remedial classes, Billy. I know math is hard. I know. I know. But that's why you're in summer school. Okay? I'm sure the teachers would help you out if you ask nicely. All right? Okay? Anyways, yeah. But you know what I'm excited for, guys? Don't be mean to him. He's had to do algebra for 3 years in a row now. No. Poor buddy. Poor little buddy. Look at this fucking chatter, dude. Sorry. One other chatter we have to take care of today. Bro's been around for almost a year now. And he's like, today is my day. So you want the big corporations to be the only ones left because no startup business can pay that right out of the gate. Do I need to explain to you that federal minimum wage hasn't changed in decades, and yet startup businesses have existed since the beginning of time? Like, what you're saying doesn't even make any sense. We've had startup businesses when we introduced the $7.25 minimum wage. Like, history disagrees with you. No, we only started having small businesses a couple years ago. Like, what? Not to mention startups are already failing all the time, even without the increase in federal minimum wage. That's a really dumb argument from the chatter. It's like talking about restaurants and being like, 90% of restaurants close within the first 5 years. So we need to do something to help restaurants by never giving workers better living conditions. It's like, first of all, why the fuck is that your first solution? Okay. Second, isn't that the whole reason that you people argue that business owners deserve to make more than their workers because they're taking on all the risk? Okay, then take on the risk, bitch. That's the worldview that you subscribe to. But then you're like, but it's mean to them. But I don't like that I made that argument 5 seconds ago. Like, I don't understand. It's just like, it's so nonsensical. It just confuses the shit out of me. Workers can negotiate their pay, you know? I take it you've never participated in the workforce. Unemployed, are you? Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah. Gotcha. Now I own a charter boat business. And your girlfriend's from Canada, I take it? She goes to a different school. Oh, okay. Got it. I love the idea of I'm saying, so you've never worked as an employee before, and his response was, correct. I just like, you can't invent this type of stupidity. You just can't. If I tried to write it, I'm literally a captain. Bro goes out in the front yard with his cardboard box and says, I'm the captain of this ship. Ahoy, matey. And I have 3 employees. I work 6 days a week, 10-hour days. It sounds like you're not working hard enough if you're wasting your time in a fucking Twitch chat. No wonder you're complaining about having to raise wages for workers. You don't want to pay them more. And it might make you have to work more. Again, like, do you guys think he understands that, like, the argument that was just made against him was, so you've never been exploited by a business owner before? And his response was, I'll have you know, I do the exploiting. I was a line cook for 15 years. Is that you, Sanji? Sanji, is that you? Okay. Sanji's hot, though. Also, Sanji respects women. Amazon donated to Israel, by the way. By the way, I don't know if you know. This is giving the exact same energy as Jon Stewart's last name isn't even Stewart. Okay? Well, I just thought you should know. Dude, my tax dollars go to Israel. There isn't a world I can live in as an American where my money doesn't go to Israel. Do you understand that? Abolish the federal and income tax. Fed and income tax. Guys, should I pull up the poop city? Should I do it? Stop printing money and increase the value of the dollar if you want spending power. Did you watch one video on YouTube about economics? Bro's entire education is PragerU. He's like, yeah, I've been to university. Prager University, as a matter of fact. Not to brag or anything, but I don't know if you've heard of this thing called supply and demand. No. Anytime anyone talks about abolishing the abolishing federal taxes or abolishing the income taxes, I love to bring up the libertarian city of Von Army that failed so horribly that they couldn't bring in new business because they didn't have a sewer system. So as you guys would imagine, your taxpayer dollars actually do go towards some things sometimes. All right. One of those things is a sewage system. So when you try and run a libertarian city where you have absolutely no sewage, you struggle to bring in new business. And this is the problem that this city ran into, where Walmart refused to build or to bring business to their city because they were like, we're not building it in Kaka City, bro. Sorry, our employees need to have bathrooms available to them. So unless you guys are ready to build some fucking sewage systems, we're not doing that. When the commissioner met with the residents of Von Army, they told her sewer service was their greatest need. They all said sewer, she said, because without sewer, it's hard for us to grow, and we want to grow. We want development. We want economic development. In addition to money coming in from the county, another $1.25 million has been secured through federal government allocation. Oh, look at that. Wow. Isn't that so crazy that their city sucks so bad because they're like, we're going to have a libertarian city where you don't have to pay taxes. Taxes are a scam. We're removing all of these bullshit taxes. And then what do? They just literally, they just rely on federal grants and federal money. Shocking. Isn't that, would it shock you to know that red states take advantage of blue states that pay in to the taxpayer system, to the federal taxpayer system? I, for one, am shocked. City Administrator Nav said that the prospect of sewer, a service every other parts of Clay Flores' precinct are still waiting on, is very exciting. We really need it. Von Army has really been has been kind of left out of that for forever. No new taxes. The only taxes they have are like speed traps, and I think that they might have property taxes. It's been a while since I've checked in on this city that's apparently still failing. But yeah, businessman and Houston native Casey Homer, bro, they elected a guy named Homer and they wondered why their city failed. Age 33, was elected mayor in May. He succeeded Sally Martinez, who served for 6 years following Von Army's early years as a libertarian experiment when a previous administration sought to avoid big city taxes and regulations. Oh my God. Yeah. They literally removed all of the taxes in their city. And then they were like, dude, what the hell? Wait a minute. How are we going to pay for everything? It's so funny to read some of these sentences. But none of the city's recent differences stand in the way of the sewer project. Clay Flores said, because that's something I've been working on since I got here. I think as a community, they are in agreement that they want sewer, that they want economic development. This is what happens when you give libertarians power, by the way. I'm a sewers guy. Anyways, yeah, this is, whenever I hear people talk about this, I just think about, and this is what everybody else should think about. You know that someone is like a bona fide moron when they say, we need to remove all of the taxes. That's what's getting in the way. In the way of what? Having sewage? Having a sewage system? Having a sanitation department? Getting in the way of what? The basic needs of society? Okay. Yeah, how about this? You don't want the taxes? Go live in fucking Von Army, dude. Go live there. Tell me how you like not having a toilet, dude. Go for it. Live your best life out there, man. They also didn't have trash collections and kept getting mobbed by bears. I forgot about that. That was another problem that the people of that libertarian city kept running into. Bears just kept attacking the trash because there was no trash. There was no sanitation department. Weed was $60 for 3.5 15 years ago. Now it's $20. That's free market capitalism. Me when I describe not capitalism. That's capitalism. It's okay, buddy. It's okay. You got it. You got it, buddy. I would recommend brushing up on the very basics of anything business related, honestly. Just anything at all. All right. Just really the basics. All right. Now, look at this.
I've had one strategy: get things done. And that strategy informs everything that I do. And that's why I'm endorsing Haley Stevens for the U.S. Senate. Just like me, Haley will do whatever it takes to get things done for the people of Michigan. And we need her now more than ever. Republicans in D.C. are making your life harder and more expensive. Tariffs, cuts to Medicaid, soaring gas prices, it's all piling on. Luckily, Haley is taking them on and putting money back in Michiganders' pockets. She helped President Obama save the auto industry and protect 200,000 Michigan jobs, brought billions home to rebuild Michigan manufacturing, took on Big Pharma to lower the cost of prescription drugs, led the fight to block Republicans from defunding Social Security. And she's standing up to Republicans right now as they jack up the price of gas, groceries, and healthcare. Haley is as Michigan as it gets. She grew up in a middle-class household. Her parents ran a landscaping business out of their Ford F-150, and she'll tell anyone who will listen about her first Oldsmobile. She knows what Michigan families are going through, and that's how I know she will always put Michigan first. Join me in voting for Haley Stevens on or before August 4th.
Dr. Saeed, something's been growing on me. I said Ford. You know the word Ford, Michiganders. Come on. Party establishment has made their decision. They do not want change. They do not want fighters. The people of Michigan will now make their decision. Do you want corporate stooges who push endless wars, or do you want Medicare for all? Do you want to stop MAGA, or do you want to cooperate? It's just so disgusting. It's crazy to me that establishment Dems would rather have candidates that hurt the American population but benefit their wallets than beat Republicans. Like, it's just so bizarre to me. I just can't. I can't understand it. I just can't understand it. Okay, there's other stuff that I want to show you guys really badly. First, really fast. Are your haram of simps now gonna harass and dox me? Already getting TM. Why are you such a fucking baby? Bro, go play some fucking League and stop being such a fucking soft, pathetic little fucking loser. Oh my god, dude. Try getting reported by everyone on your team for dying once in lane, okay? Oh, Christ. You actually died twice, Denims? Okay, f you. You're so mad. It's gotta be that these people don't interact with other human beings, so they don't know what emotions look like, right? That has to be what it is. Because I can't imagine a universe where someone's laughing their ass off at me and I'm like, you're mad. You're mad at me. This is a classic sign of someone being angry. They're smiling and laughing at me. What the f are you talking? Classic libtard argument. Call them incel or pedo. What? I didn't call you either of those. Are you good? I said you're a loser with no friends. What? Who said that? No. Why are you projecting? I don't understand. It's weird. Takeaway. Interesting takeaway. Okay. Do I get paid for this? What? Dude, you gotta stop. Like, you gotta stop. It's so cringe. It's so cringe. We talked about in Discord? Whoops, wrong chat. Bro's starting to have conversations with himself, man. I've deleted accounts for like 99% less than this. Oh god, dude. I can't get over this one. I can't get over this one. I called him a friendless loser and he's like, you must be trying to say I'm an incel or a pedophile. What the fuck? Why would you say that? Why See, I'm funny. I do get paid. No, no, you're fun to make fun of. You're not funny. But if it makes you feel better and it helps you sleep at night, you can pretend like everyone's laughing with you instead of at you. That's okay. Besides, I thought everyone was mad. How can people be thinking that you're funny and having fun if everyone's mad? You just said that 2 seconds ago. Wait a minute. The piñata doesn't get paid. Bro thinks he's on the team. Oh, God, dude. Shut the f up, dude, man. Christ almighty. Anyways, get back on your fucking boat, idiot. Taking the chud tube to work. This is that chatter. Go take your fucking chud tube to work. All right. I'm going to say something really controversial that I think will make people mad. But you know what? I don't care because we have this new 10-minute timeout rule. So if anyone says anything that annoys me, I'm just going to time them out. That's right. We're going full dictatorship. All right. I'm going to find the One Piece. Bro, you're like not on the team. Like, I get that you're having fun in the stream because you're watching a stream where the streamer isn't just telling you to be mad at like minorities or whatever, but like you're really cringy and no one here wants to associate with you. Could you come back in like a couple days and maybe change and reform and be someone cool? You have to understand, like, chatters reflect on the streamer, and you can't be someone that chats in my chat that cringy. Like, you can't be that cringy because it just makes me look cringy. So, like, if you could de-cringe, sort out whatever's going on with your ex-wife or whatever, and your boat, and then come back, that would be good. All right. He ate the dum-dum fruit. Shut up. It's not even a good joke, you fucking idiot. All right. I'm going to say something very controversial. And by very controversial, I mean not controversial at all, but I feel like I'm going to get heat for it anyway, so let's go. I feel like I prefer this type of American over the type of chatter chud that we just got 2 seconds ago. I know people are clowning on her for this, but I actually like this clip. Like, I don't know. It made me feel warm and fuzzy inside because of the reaction to the not ignorance, but like her reaction to her realization of her ignorance.
Where are you from?
Let me read the caption really fast. Yona quickly apologized to her Ukrainian Uber driver for making him uncomfortable after she asked him if Ukraine is in Russia, only to later find out that Ukraine and Russia are at war.
Where are you from?
I'm Ukrainian.
Oh, nice. Like London?
No, I'm Ukrainian, from Ukraine.
Oh, I don't really know my geography.
Ukraine is like Central Europe.
Oh. Russia, like kind of like.
Can I also just say him saying Ukraine and then she said London? I don't know what she thought he said, but it was kind of given. I'm from. Can I just pull up the video actually?
So are you Chinese or Japanese?
I live in California last 20 years, but first come from Laos.
Huh?
Laos. We lay ocean.
The ocean? What ocean?
We are lay ocean. From Laos, stupid. It's a landlocked country in Southeast Asia. It's between Vietnam and Thailand, okay? Population 4.7 million.
So are you Chinese or Japanese?
So are you Chinese or Japanese?
The ocean. The delivery on that line is so fucking good. The ocean? What ocean? And I just want to say it is giving that clip a little bit. Ukraine?
I don't really know my geography.
Ukrainian, from Ukraine.
Oh, I don't really know my geography.
Ukraine is like Central Europe.
Oh. Russia, like kind of like Russia?
Luckily, no.
Oh, no. Okay.
Dude, the poor Uber driver. The poor Uber driver. The way that he said, luckily, no. And then look at chat.
Dang, I don't know.
Girl, OMFG. Girl, LMAO. Yona babes.
But yeah, I'm from America, though. Not that you asked. I'm just saying. Yeah. So how do you like it there? A lot? Is it hot?
I mean,
Is it
overall,
hot?
it's nice.
Is it hot? Oh, I love her. I'm afraid. I love her.
Oh, they said they're at war. I did not know that. They're at war? I'm so sorry. I did not know that. I apologize.
Between Russia and Ukraine.
Yeah. Okay, I'm so sorry. I did not know that. I don't know any geography, and maybe I should educate myself. But yeah, no, I did not know. Whoops. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I feel so bad. I did not know that. That's so disrespectful of me. I apologize. No, I really didn't know that. I'm so sorry. No, I feel so bad because that's actually serious. But I'm so sorry.
Accept it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I don't want to make you uncomfortable. I did not mean to say that.
No worries.
And that's what I mean when I say, like, I would rather have 100 ignorant Americans that realize, like, oh my God, like, I feel really bad, and have the introspection to recognize that, than even one person who knows, like, half a thing about half a thing, but doubles and triples down on the most annoying shit ever. Like, there's a certain genuineness. Like, you can even hear, like, the Uber driver's, like, chuckling, and, like, he's like, oh, okay. Well, yeah, I guess the person that said, I'm American, but you didn't really ask, so I don't know why I said that. Like, she probably just didn't know. She probably just didn't know. Oh, this, like, I don't know. I saw this, and it was, by the end of the clip, it was like, I felt happy by the end of the clip. Okay, wonderfully honest cadence to her. I know, right? That was pure ignorance. Yeah, she didn't know which ocean. She just said, what ocean? I don't know what ocean. Oh, confident ignorance is the worst. Yeah. A good heart and willing to learn versus a chud that refuses to open their eyes. Exactly. Also seems like a nice person in general from the review clips I've seen. Man, I can't imagine. That's like, and realistically, it's like everyone is going to have moments where you say things and you don't realize, like, you can't say that. Like, I straight up did not know that British people, I did not know that the word that they use to describe Pakistani people, I did not know that that was a slur. It was like years ago, and I had said that, and then everyone in chat was like, hello? Hello? And I'm like, what? Like, I don't understand. It's like shortening something the way that you would shorten, like, oh, like, I'm Arab, or like my Afghani friend or whatever. And it's like, it's a slur. It's a slur. And I'm like, oh, I did not know that. Oh, I did not know that. Because in the US, everyone just calls brown, like, we have like stupid racism in the United States. Everyone who is any level of brown is either Mexican or a terrorist. Those are the type of, that's what we have in terms of racism against brown people in America. You have to be a very specialized racist to be anything else. So, yeah. Same. So Americans have, not that we don't have history. Sorry, let me make a more clarifying statement. If you aren't from the country where the slur is used often or regularly or whatever, how would you, not how would you know, right? But like, I feel like if you're American, you probably know of the shortening for Japanese people as a slur, because we've had internment camps in the US, and the history with like Pearl Harbor, and then the racism against Japanese people. So that's like, I feel like everybody knows that, right? But I feel like against any, like, if you are some type of South Asian, you're not going to get like a specialized South Asian slur, right? You're just going to get generally like terrorist, or like I don't know if I can say it, but like the slur with towel in the name. That's it. You're not getting more specific than that. That's what you're gonna get. But Sunday slur day. No. No. We're not doing that. We're not doing that one. Stop. What do you mean, like, if they're Laotian? Vietnamese are called the same slur for Koreans. I mean, it's literally like, how many clips are there of racist, bigoted Americans walking up to random Koreans and saying, get your Kung Flu Panda out. No, sorry, not Panda. Sorry. I was thinking of Kung Fu Panda. Kung Flu Pandemic COVID out of here. It's like, that person's Korean, you fucking moron. You're not even being the right type of racist, idiot. People were shoving old Asian people. It's like, what the again, American racism and bigotry is just so, it's like the lazy, truly, we are the world's laziest country. It's the laziest type of bigotry. Oh my God, dude. Wait, you just reminded me of the Tom Cotton clip. Are you a member of the CCP? Sir, I am Singaporean.
So, you said today, as you often say, that you live in Singapore. Of what nation are you a citizen?
Singapore.
Are you a citizen of any other nation?
No, Senator.
Have you ever applied
So, are you Chinese or Japanese?
for Chinese citizenship?
Senator, I served my nation in Singapore. No, I did not.
Do you have a Singaporean passport?
Yes, and I served my military for two and a half years in Singapore.
Do you have any other passports from any other nations?
No, Senator.
Your wife is an American citizen. Your children are American citizens.
That's correct.
Have you ever applied for American citizenship?
No, not yet.
Okay. Have you ever been a member of the Chinese Communist Party?
Senator, I'm Singaporean. No.
Are you kidding me? Bro just explained to you he's Singaporean. He's from Singapore. He's not Chinese. He hasn't applied for Chinese citizenship. What do you mean? Have you ever been a member of the Chinese Communist Party? Hello? He just told you he's not Chinese. He's like, Singapore, where is that? In China? Are you Chinese or are you Japanese?
No.
Have you ever been associated or affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party?
No, Senator. Again, I'm Singaporean.
So,
I can't. Do you guys see what I mean? Where I'm like, it's almost heartwarming to see American ignorance that is just ignorance, where it's just like, oh my God, I just did not know. I'm sorry. I should really learn more about geography and just the world. I'm so sorry. I don't know, because that's serious and stuff. And I didn't want to make you uncomfortable, and I don't want to be disrespectful. I'm sorry. Versus whatever the this is, so are you Chinese or Japanese? Senator, I'm Singaporean and I'm a shipping magnate. Senator, which branch of the YMCA are you a part of? God damn, dude. Also, someone linked this earlier, and sometimes I'll click on links in chat, but I don't click on the user card, so I don't remember who linked it. And this has been on my other monitor for 5 minutes now. Who the linked this? Hillary was doing anything but campaigning in Wisconsin. Who linked this? Which one of you did that? Banned. All of you. All of you banned.